Once upon a time, in the heart of the East, there once lived a wise old sage who was known for his deep understanding of human emotions. People would come from far and wide to seek his guidance on how to find inner peace and happiness. One day a young man approached him with a troubled look on his face. "Master," he said, "I am consumed by fear. I am afraid of the future, of what lies ahead. I am afraid of the unknown, of the things that I cannot control." The sage listened patiently to the young man's concerns, and then said, "Fear is like a cloud that covers the sun. It prevents us from seeing the beauty and light of the world. But fear has a root, and if we can understand the root of our fear, we can overcome it." The young man was intrigued and asked the sage to explain further. The sage then told him a story. Once upon a time, there was a man who lived in a small village. He was very poor and had to work hard every day just to make ends meet. One day, he heard that a wealthy man was coming to the village to give away money to the poor. The man was overjoyed at the news and went to the village square to wait for the wealthy man. As the wealthy man arrived, he saw the poor man and stopped to talk to him. The poor man was filled with fear and could not speak. The wealthy man asked him why he was afraid, and the poor man replied, "I am afraid that you will not give me any money. I am afraid that I will be left with nothing." The wealthy man smiled and said, "Fear not, my friend. I will give you what you need." And with those words, he handed the poor man a bag of gold coins. The poor man was overjoyed and thanked the wealthy man. As he was walking away, he suddenly realized that he had left his own bag of coins behind. He ran back to the wealthy man and said, "Please, take this bag of coins. I don't need it." The wealthy man replied, "Keep it, my friend. You will need it in the future." But the poor man was afraid of losing the bag of coins and refused to take it. Years went by, and the poor man became very wealthy. He had everything he could ever want, but he was still afraid. He was afraid of losing everything he had worked so hard for, afraid of the future, and afraid of the unknown. He realized that his fear had its roots in the bag of coins that he had left behind. The young man was puzzled and asked the sage to explain. The sage replied, "The bag of coins was a symbol of the man's attachment to material possessions. His fear was rooted in the belief that he could not be happy without those possessions. But happiness is not found in material possessions. It is found within ourselves, in our own hearts and minds." The young man understood the sage's words and realized that his own fear was rooted in his attachment to the things he could not control. He learned that true happiness comes from within, and that fear is just an illusion that prevents us from experiencing that happiness. The sage smiled and said, "Fear is like a dark room. When you open the curtains, the light comes in and the darkness disappears." In the same way, when we understand the root of our fear and let go of our attachments, we can open ourselves up to the light of happiness and inner peace. The young man left the sage's home feeling lighter and more at ease than he had in a long time. He realized that his fear had been holding him back from living his life to the fullest, but now he was ready to face his. Fear is a natural human emotion that we all experience. It's a response to the unknown or the potential for harm. But fear can also hold us back from reaching our full potential and living a fulfilling life. It's important to understand how to deal with fear and not let it control us. Acknowledging our fear is the first step towards overcoming it. When we identify what we're afraid of and why we're afraid, we can take action to address it. Understanding the root cause of our fear can help us find a way to let go of it and move forward. Practicing mindfulness is another powerful tool to deal with fear. Mindfulness helps us stay present and reduces anxiety and fear. By focusing on the present moment, we can reduce the power that fear has over us. It's also important to take action towards our fears. Sometimes, the best way to overcome fear is to face it head-on. Taking small steps towards our fears can help us build confidence and resilience. There are many situations where humans might be afraid, like losing a job, facing a new challenge, or going through a difficult time. But we should never let fear control our lives or hold us back from reaching our goals. Instead, we can take action towards our fears and overcome them. So, if you're feeling afraid, remember to acknowledge your fear, understand the root cause, practice mindfulness, and take action. Fear is a natural human emotion, but it doesn't have to control our lives. As the wise sage said, fear is like a dark room. Open the curtains and let the light in.